Halfway, the middle of something, a threshold, a pause that holds both past and future in its hands. It's here, in this middle ground, that I can finally look at where I've come from and allow myself to soften into where I'm going. No rushing, no forcing, only noticing. When I began, I didn't imagine this residency would feel like therapy. I thought it would be simple, brush, paint, presence. But life has a way of slipping into everything, doesn't it? The strokes become conversations with my body, with my breath, with the quiet spaces inside me I'd ignored for so long. The colours carry memories I thought I'd forgotten. The lines trace feelings I thought I'd already let go of. And suddenly I am here, face to face with the parts of myself I avoided, the habits, the old beliefs, the patterns that linger quietly in the corners of my mind. Letting go is never just letting go. It's a rehearsal in courage. It is saying goodbye to a self who stayed too long, to narratives that kept repeating, to the comfort of old clothing that no longer fits the shape of who I am. Sometimes it's sharp, sometimes it's subtle, and sometimes it is like exhaling for the very first time. But always, it is an act of trust. Trust isn't easy. Trust means stepping into the unknown with nothing but your own heart as a compass. Trust means believing that what falls away is making space for something greater, even when you can't see it, even when you're afraid to see it. Even the nights that shattered me, even the moments I thought would end me, even the storms I begged to escape, now I see them differently. They were brushstrokes too. They gave texture, contrast, depth to the painting of my life. They're not detours, but necessary shadows, the kind of darkness that makes colour possible. Without them, nothing would shine the same way. Without them, joy would not taste as sweet. Without them, love would not land so deeply. And the greatest gratitude of it all is not for what I have, but for what I can witness. To see myself changing, to see myself softening, to see myself growing into someone new. That is a privilege I do not take lightly, because growth is not guaranteed, presence is not guaranteed. To be awake inside my own story, that is the rarest gift of all. Gratitude, when I let it, changes everything. Gratitude is not a word I say to remind myself to be positive. Gratitude is a posture, a way of breathing, a way of touching the world as though everything I encounter is alive, as though everything I meet, every sensation, every moment has a pulse of its own. Gratitude slows me down. Gratitude reminds me that even here, even in confusion, even in silence, the stillness, there is life, there is beauty. I notice the way the light shifts across the table, the way dust catches it, how a shadow bends around the edges of a cup. I notice the softness in the wind, the subtle tremors of leaves brushing against each other. I notice the pulse of my own heart, steady and relentless, a rhythm that has carried me through years I did not think I could survive. Each breath I take, each moment of awareness is a miracle. And I'm learning to let myself linger there, to let the pause stretch, to feel what it is just to exist without the weight of expectation. Halfway is a place that holds both tension and release. It is a place where the past still whispers and the future still hums. And I am here, in the quiet middle, just breathing. The greatest lessons come in these pauses. I see how that presence itself is patience, that every moment I allow myself to just be is a moment of profound practice. The slow layering of colour on colour mirrors the slow layering of awareness on awareness. Nothing is hurried, nothing is forced. The rhythm emerges naturally when the nervous system relaxes, when the body and mind remember how to move together. Hearthway, a place where the new me and the old me coexist for just a little while, where I can watch the residue of who I was intertwine with the person I'm becoming. The back and forth, the tension between memory and emergence is not a struggle. It's a dialogue. It's an intricate choreography of neurons, of emotions, of learned habits meeting possibility. I observe it all with fascination, with compassion, with quiet delight. The life I have lived, every encounter, every heartbreak, every joy, every loss, every ordinary day and extraordinary one, every detail is a brushstroke. And now, at this halfway point, I can see the painting take shape, not in perfection, not in neatness, not in resolution, but in depth, in texture, in color that vibrates with lived experience. And there is gratitude in that. Gratitude for the body that carries me, the breath that fills me, the senses that never stop teaching. Gratitude for the mind that sometimes resists and sometimes opens, for the heart that remembers even when I forget. Gratitude for the moments of stillness that feel like small sanctuaries, and for the moments of chaos that remind me I am alive. Gratitude for the hands that can touch, that can create, that can soothe. For the eyes that see not just shapes but patterns, not just light but shadow. Gratitude for the life that exists in the small, the invisible, the fleeting. And I'm learning that gratitude is not passive, it is active. It is muscle I build by noticing, by leaning in, by allowing myself to feel fully, even in the uncomfortable, even in the fleeting, even in the messy. Halfway is a place where all of this can converge. The patience of the body, the witnessing of the mind, the surrender of the soul, the echoes of the past, the invitations of the future, the breath of the present. I'm grateful for the chance to be here, right now, in this form, in this body, in this existence, to move, to feel, to paint, to observe, to love, to be alive, witness, receive, surrender, trust. Halfway, and already it is more than enough. Halfway, and still everything waits to unfold. Halfway, and I am exactly where I need to be. Halfway is not in between. Halfway is wholeness in motion. Halfway is both exhale and inhale. Halfway is the recognition that life is happening in this precise moment. And if I pay attention, I can watch it bloom. I can feel it deepen. I can feel it resonate through every cell in my body. Halfway is a meditation. Halfway is gratitude, practice. Halfway is a celebration of survival, of courage, of emergence, of the human heart still beating in wonder. Here I allow myself to stay as long as I like, to breathe, to watch, to listen, to touch the edges of what it means to be alive, to feel how vast a single heartbeat can be, to feel the complexity of my own mind without judgment, to feel the tenderness of my body without shame, to allow every emotion, every thought, every memory, every anticipation to be witnessed. And in this, I find patience, true patience, not the kind that waits begrudgingly, or with tension, or with a ticking clock in the chest, but the kind that flows with time, that moves with nature, that dances with the rhythm of breath, the cadence of cells, the subtle rise and fall of thought and feeling, patience that does not judge, that does not demand, that does not pull against what is,